Welcome everyone to ASPS, Association of Singapore Professional Speakers. Well, usually we hold it on a Friday evening. However, today it is something special. It is Thursday evening, and we have something special for all of us. And this is going to be an interesting. I'm looking forward to hear from our speaker. Before that, I would like to invite our president, Jimin, to say a few words and open the session. Over to you, Jimin.
Thank you, Anthony, and welcome to all members as well as guests for this ASPS meeting. ASPS has been around since 2004, 16 years already. So time flies just like that. So we were amongst the members here, many of us were the founders back in those days, 2004. And today we didn't realize in the blink of an eye, it's 16 years already. so times have flown very quickly. And when I first took on the role of president since last year, 2020, at the beginning of COVID. So some people call me the COVID president. So for a term of 2 years, so we decided to do something different because in terms of speaking clubs around Singapore, there are plenty of clubs, whether Toastmasters, whether Agora, and what have you. There are many of these clubs around. So we wanted to do something different whereby we can differentiate ourselves. So one of the ways we are looking at is that having every meeting, there's only one speaker, a keynote speaker. Later on, you will have the speaker will share with us his topic of interest. And we really wanted to highlight the professionalism of our speakers. So we wanted to groom all our members who, some of us have done our own professional speaking sessions. Some are on the verge of doing so. So no matter our background, we all wanted to learn how to do better, not just as a public speaker. Many of the members have been speaking in many speaking clubs for many years, whether Rotary, whether it's in Toastmasters, they have been very quite accomplished. But what is the next step? The next step is can we become a professional speaker? Professional speaker is not as easy as it sounds. It's lots of effort and hard work, as all of you all know. So we need to have a beginning. We cannot just worry that, okay, because there are some people so professional, we don't even dare to try. So we want this organization, ASPS, as an organization where we can dare to try our skills, whether using Zoom, whether using all the technologies or video, whatever kind of medium you want to use, we're happy for you to try it out. So it's not just sitting down or standing up, just giving a 7-minute speech. It's more than that. So we also learn how to create our own videos, edit the videos, do audio recording and whatnot, do streaming. So all these skills are the skills which we need to learn in this modern era. So we hope that at ASPS, we want to forge a different path from the many speaking clubs, at the same time develop ourselves professionally. And we do have many interest groups which we formed, like our cooking and gardening group. We have a video production group, a walking group. So there are a few more groups we have. Not everyone are interested to be speakers, but many of people have different interests. So one unique feature of ASPS is that we have other interest groups where whoever are interested in that activity, they are free to join in. It's like ad hoc basis. They are not a member, but they like the activity, like cooking and gardening. There are many people who like cooking, who like planting vegetables. You can see the group is very active. Yeah. So I think I hope that for this session, I know Gerald has probably have something up for us. Very good. He has prepared thoroughly. So I'll just hand over back to Anthony for him to conduct the proceedings.
Thank you very much, Jimin. Thank you. Allow me to introduce our speaker tonight. Mr. Gerald Ong is a speaker, ACTA certified trainer, hashtag I am a remarkable facilitator, and Lego Serious Play Method facilitator. He facilitates workshop to help individuals discover themselves and build teams together by playing with Lego bricks. He has over 3 years in corporate sales, providing products and services to B2C clients and B2B clients. Since joining the learning and development sector in 2017, he has been conducting training in the areas of goal setting, design thinking, creativity and innovation, team building, and self-discovery. The largest team building event that he had facilitated was for 100 packs to a division within the Institute of Higher Learning. Let's put our hand together and warmly welcome Mr. Gerald Ong.
Okay, thank you everybody. So welcome to my presentation. This is seriously playing with Lego bricks. Okay, so this is the kind of things that I always do most of the time. So in Lego bricks, we will send to our customers and we will get them to play with us. So what you see, you might not, in the earlier part of the introduction, you might see me with my virtual background, with me holding a Lego brick. That is me having an open space huddle with my fellow facilitators, and we are going to have a coffee chat session in June. So that is the global meetings. There is usually held in October, and coffee chat sessions held twice a year at the global level. So that's how facilitators keep in touch. Okay, this is a disclaimer. Lego Serious Play and the Imagine figure does affect us in lots of ways. Okay, so this is how things will work. Thirdly, here is my profile. Okay, so here is about me. Okay, I study quite a few things. I'm a trained marketer, I'm a trained engineer. I went into L&D. I have an ACTA cert. Of course, I converted my ACTA from Australian standard. So that's why I see an AQF in front. So Lego Serious Play is one of my points of view. My points of view friends are also here in this session. Okay, I'm a 6 weeks facilitator, and I also did master practitioner at Neural Linguistic Programming. So here is some of my associations that I come in. Of course, there are 2 newest associations that just came in this year, which is Institute of Training and Occupational Learning. Okay, speakers who are keen in Institute of Training and Occupational Learning, please come and have a chat with me privately. Okay, so that is the kind of setup I'm in. Okay, so quite a few speaking engagement on this topic. It's either this topic, seriously playing with Lego bricks, or know yourself or know others. Okay, so usually I will speak about know yourself more using Lego bricks in a simplified form. Okay, some of you might wonder how come my name is in Burmese. Yes, I cover the Myanmar market for so many years. Okay, so yes, so don't be surprised you see my name change into different languages from time to time. That is depending on the market. It's a market dependent issue that I'm addressing at the moment. So because now things are going digital, and I believe some of you might have heard e-residency in other countries. So eventually we need to be a polyglot soon. Okay, so first thing first, what comes to your mind when you see this wonderful Lego bricks here? Feel free to type in the chat box and all that. Okay, feel free to type. What comes to your mind when you see? Okay. Okay. Yes, okay. Some of you might say building. You might have been thinking of it because you see that you are in a very structured manner. You see building, so you're very structured thinking. Okay, that's very normal. Some of you might see in a creative way. I see some creative responsibility. Mian, it says creativity. Okay, so next is all about having imagination with just a simple few bricks. Okay, in the early warm-up exercises, you'll see this. There is a way to build your structures up. Before we put in certain elements inside. Of course, you can keep and store it. So some of the event, you will tend to see some of my pictures of the models of different personalities over life. And majority of some of my audience here have actually played the Lego bricks with me personally, face to face, before this lockdown already. And here is my forward letter, which I wrote in February last year. It's about how play is essential to humans. And recently there were some new reports that came out about play is being very essential to younger kids now. So it's how to be shared during the process of guided play, how you gamify it, how you look to it. And because they were using VR, and VR is a new trend. It's a new trend in different industry sectors that I have seen over the years. So that is how things get interesting. And so let me define what is play. As you can see, that kid is having fun with the simple big blocks. He's playing with the toys. Animals can mean something to them. Okay. In fact, one of my Lego sets have animals. And animals can mean lots of things. When you see some part of this Lego serious play element come together. So let's define play in the English dictionary first. So when you play, you got enjoyable, you find something exciting, just like how the participant you see in front enjoys his play element. So when he plays it, he was building and he's familiar with Lego. He played in my pre-training session also. So he is familiar. He did a very interesting construction. Okay, so now let's look and explore further and hear from some of the experts. The expert says that, as you can see in this Venn diagram, home, play, school, and world all comes into a full system, come together. So every time as things go by, there is a lot of connection. If you want to see that connection in that area. So this is mentioned in a white paper 4 years ago. It's about how this continuity, every day you need to play something, even your own life. Okay. So sometimes if I got a problem, I pick up my Lego sets. If I got an issue I cannot solve, I pick out my other tools. Okay, that's my points of view coaching tools will come out handy. I'll use my 6 bricks. Okay, so I have different tools right at my desk. Anytime I need to solve a problem, I will use a tool. And usually the answer is right in the face. You just don't realize it, and subconsciously you will see it. And let's hear from the expert. When you are playing in school, actually you've seen this activity that is absorbing a lot of motivation. There's lots of surprise, just like the kid playing the Lego box on the right, with the bricks on the right hand side. Because there will that kind of structure can be secured. For example, in the 6 bricks world, there is an activity where we will use 5 sets of 6 bricks, equal size Duplo blocks, to hold a full size water bottle, and it creates a very interesting impact. So you can see some of that on my LinkedIn and see some of my past photos. So it's an illustration and exaggeration. It might even come out in my digital ebook in a while. So what comes to your mind when you see lots of Lego bricks here? Okay, this is just a simple plates, but let's see if we use a full-size brick. What is the number of combination you think it will has? Those who know the answer, don't tell. Those who want to guess, make a guess in the chat box. Make a guess. There's an interesting guess. Okay, it's a very nice number. Okay, one of the most common number. Okay. In fact, research has shown it is more than 1 million. Okay, but less than 1 billion. It's a big number. So let me show you the evidence that the research has done. So with this standard 6 bricks, 6 2x4 Lego bricks, you can see there's a possible combination in this 2013 journal that mentioned this particular is infinite actually. Okay, but as far as connection is concerned, when it comes to clicking the bricks and disconnecting the bricks, it goes even higher. It goes as high as 300,000 cyclics cycles, okay? That's how a bricks can last itself. And let's go. So the world is so diverse. So I was having a little activity in a business networking event and asked all my participants there, all my friends there, hey, let's go build a duck. So in that simple room, there's no same duck, but they are almost similar ducks. Okay? Yes, but this is business networking, so you see more extrovert ducks. Okay, their mouth is like coming forward. So that's the kind of thing that you see. See, so that is the kind of thing that when Lego is being played so much effort, you can see that so much diversity out there in that world. So it's so fun. And if you see me face to face again, chances are my Lego ducks are with me, and you have to play with me. Yes. As a result of it, you get lots of interesting things. When you play with me, you start to realize you are not slouching back. You are leaning forward all the time. And this is me doing another technique of Lego serious play, where you see me get the audience to build their landscape, which means a bird's eye view of the overview picture of a strategy of a community. In this case, also community of what they want to do. So this is the different bricks that you see. It's so fun. Okay. And very rarely in normal presentations, in the normal boardroom, you see everybody falling asleep. Okay. So traditionally, Lego serious play is always done face to face. It's never done online because of that. Because now everybody is now sitting planted on their chairs. It's all leaning backwards. Okay. You can sense your body all naturally leaning backwards. But the moment when you come to a face-to-face environment, in a Lego environment, you have a natural tendency for your body to lean forward. As you can see in front, this is everybody leaning forward to the center. That means you can see almost audience engagement and inflow. Because same for this is another picture where communication. These are business and law lecturers in the poly. I did. And you get enhanced lot of communication. The communications are just so interesting. Just never realize how things are so interesting each time. As far as enhanced communication is concerned, they just didn't realize about each other. Okay. But what also interesting, quirky characters are. Even sometimes the story that they share, I know what type of environment that they love in. So for example, two of the lecturers, one of them was saying, was like enjoying like using a power boat or that kind of story, a ship with guns. So I know she likes outdoor. She's an outdoor character. Then there's another lecturer that spoke about a fireplace. She really built a fireplace. So I asked her, do you travel a lot to cold countries like Norway, Sweden? And it was true. Because how I know it? Your stories. You start to realize why the stories elements come in so interestingly over time. When we go into bigger strategy, you see a shared common understanding. So as the Lego serious play put in more and more bricks, okay, the big picture on there you see on the left involves up to 4,000 over bricks, 4,000 plus bricks. So involve nearly quite a few sets involved to get to that kind of strategy stage. So you can calculate it, okay? And every set per participant can go as low as 6 bricks, can go as high as 208 bricks. But when combining the strategy, it can go as high per participant as high as about 500 to 600 persons per brick. And also something is measured in weight to balance out. It's either in weight or in a number of pieces per participant. So this is the kind of things that facilitators has commonly shared with each other at a global level. And there's a lot of global papers addressing different issues. So for example, I'm predominantly a classroom instructor. So I need an evidence of a classroom environment where I can deliver it. So with that technical paper that I got it, I deliver in the classroom successfully in Myanmar. Because ownership of the model is very important. When you play with it, you own the model. There's nothing beats owning the model and playing with it. The more you play with it, the more you own it, and your stories stick to the model. We even can't change the meaning of your model. Not supposed to. The owner must change the meaning and the key facts of the model. So in this case, on the right-hand side, you see this guy holding that model. That was a warm-up model of his tower. Okay, he's a very structured person. Okay, and of course, benefits of play. When play captures many features of deeper learning and we can develop skills and knowledge. So you will see some of my new programs that I am working on to develop the skills and knowledge. It's from the same white paper that Lego has came out. Because a white paper comprises of so many things. So they highlight this key fact that play is always very deep learning. So if you go to any primary school nowadays, some of the primary schools nowadays, for example, one school that is one of my sister schools has a Lego room for kids. Of course, we chose general sponsorship. The Lego room is very successful now, pre-COVID. Okay, now it's in COVID season, so there's a bit of sanitization issue to get it going. And when they develop the skills and knowledge, you get interesting results for play for kids. So when we look at certain key facts of play and learning, surface learning is just that when we look at the base of it. One example can be my friend, just an accountant. I only know her just an accountant. But the moment I throw in the Lego element inside, I didn't know she liked to fidget or even like to doodle. It's one of the most interesting things that I never expected out of her. Out of the three, we went through 3 building exercises. And I know what she likes. She's creative, but she's very systematic. So that's one of the most memorable builds because I play with her so often. So sometimes I try some tools with her. And now comes the stage why we use stories or metaphors in this case. In different environments, we always make sure that metaphors are always a key structure that we ensure that everybody maintains their thoughts and give their story to their model. So research has shown that a metaphor is not a speech, it's a more of thought. And they encourage it from a different perspective. So from different perspectives, we combine the story to your model. There must be a linkage. You will see the linkage when we do it. And it's got linked to team development. Because when you put it in team development, you can see many conversations. They'll be laughing all the way during a play session. They'll be laughing until they couldn't laugh. Okay? And this is in Rice University, they are using Lego Serious Play. The model that you see on the right, there's a Lego Serious Play box there, right? That is the bigger box of play sets. So now they're going to do a Lego duck activity and I invite you to watch the video.
All right, a little break from the weather for a moment. We know kids love Legos, but now there's Legos for adults. The building blocks of fun are now becoming building blocks for communication in some Fortune 500 companies. And one of the workshops is here in Houston at Rice University. Here to talk about Lego Serious Play is Kim McGaw, the Director of Professional Programs at Rice's Glasscock School of Continuing Studies. Kim, good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm great. Okay, so adults can play with Legos. It's totally acceptable.
Absolutely. Not only acceptable, it's imperative.
Yeah.
So for innovation, for creativity is becoming one of the most important traits that employers are looking for in the American workforce. And one of the ways they're developing that is through play.
Through play. So what is Lego Serious Play?
Lego Serious Play is it's a format of doing a workshop using Lego. It was developed by Lego Education. It's been around for about 20 years. It's currently used at Stanford Business School in Oxford and also at the United Nations.
Wow.
So it's a really innovative format that can be applied to any topic, but is especially strong for communications, team building, and also strategy.
So you've got companies from all over now, like wanting to bring their employees in and take Lego workshops.
Yeah, actually, the State Department is bringing a group in next month. So
How
really
interesting.
excited.
So what are the benefits that people are seeing then?
The benefit is it's 100% hands-on, minds-on. So people are going to be using their hands, and it's also great for introverts. You know, introverts a lot of times who aren't as highly verbal, a little bit shy, they're going to be really excited because you're talking about the figure that you made.
Okay.
So the Lego figure, so everything's about the figure. So you can talk about some things in depth that might be uncomfortable to talk about otherwise.
Interesting.
Also, it's just exciting. It's a great way to get everyone at the table and have a really good, memorable conversation.
So you're communicating through play. Okay,
Absolutely.
I like this. Okay, so you
for
have
example,
a little assignment
Yes,
for us.
I do. So usually an opener might be, okay, you have 45 seconds. So go ahead and dump out your pieces.
Okay.
And you're going to build. Ready? We have the same pieces.
Same pieces.
Whatever you want to do,
I'm
your
so
way.
nervous.
Good.
Okay, what are we building?
A duck.
A duck. Okay. Okay.
So however you want to do it. However you want to do it.
Are there feet?
However you want to do it. It's all up to you.
Okay. I'm
and
nervous.
there's no right. The other thing that I want to say is there's no right or wrong way to play. And that's the big takeaway. And you might not even use all the pieces if you don't want to.
And so this is an example of what you would have folks do, right?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Actually, I might even do this. And again, there's no right or wrong. There's no judgment. You're just playing.
All right.
Okay, great.
Oh my gosh, yours really looks like a duck.
And so like this, and I turn, I go, look at hers. And that's the reaction we get in the group.
Yeah.
And so it's really funny. So can you imagine a bunch of executives at a table looking, and you laugh.
Right.
The point is look at it, with these alone, just with these 5 pieces, there are more than 900 million combinations you could have done just with these 5 pieces.
So how about like in marriages? Could you start doing this for like improved marriage?
Absolutely. It's all about communication. The point is we all have a unique way of seeing the world. And this highlights that just with 5 pieces, every single duck in a room, if you had 50 people doing that, every single duck would be a little bit different.
Yeah, that's really
And that's a great way to start it off, is everyone has a unique lens and something to share with a different perspective, and we welcome that.
So if you have businesses out there watching, or employees who want to tell their businesses about this, how can they get in touch with you to sign up?
One of the best ways to do is just go to creative.rice.edu, and you can look at our information on the website. If a Lego isn't posted, at least our contact information is there. And again, it's creative.rice.edu.
Okay, great. And folks can come to you, or you can go to them. And
Absolutely,
you can play
you can
with
come out to
Legos
Rice.
all day.
Absolutely, the Glasscock School.
Well, they are the best toy, right?
Absolutely.
They never
are the best. And by the way, just so you know, we've got really super cool minifigs as part of it. So you might come in addition just to Lego, we have all the cool characters. And the other thing I forgot is Lego money, which Lego has money.
I did not know Lego had money.
If it's business, we're going to bring money into it.
Very cool. All right, Kim, thanks for stopping by.
Thank you very much.
Appreciate it. We're going to send it over to Lisa now.
So as what you can see, Rice University, they are one of the few research places that also comes out with interesting papers on businesses and all that. So every year, different universities are doing research. Okay. Okay. So what she says, as what the speaker was saying, is a problem meeting communication method. And I have delivered this in many interesting combinations of workshops. One of which is my famous dating workshop that I use for singles. Okay. So using the Lego serious play method, how singles, couples, how friends get together. I see your Lego model, I know how you get together. That's how simple. So it's all about having fun in a nice manner. Not in a serious way, but in a fun way. But usually when the subjects are very deep, you will see multiple rounds of construction. So the bigger, the more strategic the problem is, the more challenging the issue is, usually the construction gets bigger and bigger over time. So it can last up to even like 8 hours, sometimes even 16 hours, depending how complicated the subject matter is. So there's such thing called a series of flow in facilitation. So when you're feeling bored, you're out of flow. When you're feeling worried, you're out of flow. But so long we keep you engaged, you are still in flow. And this is one of the research papers that mentioned this, that it is about how to keep you engaged through a series of activities that is high energy, high experiential, and you keep you on working. The more like just a TV show, the Fox News, everybody is playing. They played one round already, they're really laughing. So imagine how many rounds, the more rounds you play, the more laughter you get. And the moment you ask them present models to each other, to your participants, you get them even laughing. Because when you actually want to know who you are, then you play. So technically, here is the rules. Okay. Never have a meeting yourself, not too good. Always have your hands. So when you see me, just make sure your hands are ready. Let your hand do the work, because there's a hand and mind connection to it. The more you tell your story, the meaning will emerge. So that's why I say there's a connection to that. And that's the reason why metaphors are so important. Design doesn't matter, but I have a bit of hacking into the design. Okay. Once I validate that research, I will be able to tell you. But design takes only 10% out of the whole facilitation. The 80% is based on your metaphor under Lego serious play guidelines. Okay, so this is a general process. So like as what you can see in the first segment in the Fox News, the presenter asks the guest a question. Okay, now what about it? Then they will tell you to build a duck, right? So they build the answer. Then they didn't share their story, but you reflect and learn. So this is generally a full stage process that every person has to go through. And of course, let me give some history of Lego before we always start this play element. We always know the duck is the first toy that came out. And it's always a wooden toy, it's a wooden duck. Okay? And Lego historically means for play well. So it's about playing. If anything about play, you'll see lots of research papers on play. Okay? So given these six pieces of bricks here, I'd like you to imagine in your head now, how are you going to construct this particular duck? I'd like you to imagine in your head, how are you going to construct it? Take this time and think. Go ahead and imagine. Every duck has its own way of doing it. Okay, take this time. I'd like you to think how you're going to construct your own duck. Okay, mentally in your head, those who visually can catch it, I'd like you to visually look at it. The more you look at it, the more you will see certain things. The time is for you now to look into your duck. Okay, I shall hold here for a while, for a few seconds, so that you can imagine your duck come together. Okay, now that as I slowly speak, I'd like you to think, this duck, you are going to present it to somebody. Okay, and I'd like you to think, how your duck is going to be constructed? What is that construction that comes to your mind? Go and build it. And I'll hold for about 10 seconds so that you can do your construction. So as you build it, you have realized there's something interesting. It's still the same diversity. Okay, if we had shown the same person, the same different people, if you bring it out, you construct it differently, you would have got it interestingly, because every piece has its own meaning, and you gave the meaning to it. So that is the discovery. As far as personality is concerned, I shall now demyth a few things for everybody that I've discovered through the duck's activity. Anybody who have picturally built a duck with their mouth, are you generally very extrovert? If you are, don't need time to chat box. It just is that you can answer to yourself. Okay, sometimes you might see your duck don't have a mouth, but you are very close to your friends. Okay, you chat a lot, but the moment you go to a business networking situation with strangers, you don't talk. You're very quiet. You just wait for people to come and talk to you. Are you that kind of character? Might be. So then comes an interesting. You might see one duck on the left-hand side. Okay. You see a staircase or something to that effect. Okay. If your duck had something like this in your head, are you a person that you really like to use checklists to do it? Are you a person that really use notebooks, notepads, or post-it notes to make sure you know what things to do? A point to ponder. If you get that in your visual model, you are most likely like that. Okay. How about those ducks that are in the center of the very centrally structured, not off center, not off balance? You're generally more a very grounded person. Are you grounded? Some point for you to think of. Then comes another duck that you can see in this picture. There's a duck that the head is underneath the water. Are you a dreamer? Are you a creative person? Might be. There's some possibility. Then how about another duck that you see that is off balance in the picture? Are you generally off balance, but you always can find something interesting out there? Could be. So every time when we discuss, and this is the reflection round, as I reflect, this is just only the building round. We incorporate the metaphorical element into it. You will realize that every stage there is a meaning to it. So not this first stage is only just a personality test, a personality way of natural reaction to a problem, to an issue. So the issue was, my issue or challenge was to give you to build a duck. So this is how you respond to me in models. So for your models, I will be able to tell general sensing of how different minds work. And this is over collecting more than 300 pictures of ducks. So I have seen enough different styles, and that's why I say it can go up to more than a million combinations. So you can see there's some commonality trends ducks are being built. So it varies from participant to participants, audience to audience, environment, many factors. And that is one of the key discovery. Now is the time where I stop for a short question and answer session. Anthony will facilitate this segment. Okay, any questions from the floor?
I have a question.
Yes, JM?
Okay, this is Lego Serious Play the same as Lego Robotics?
Different. There are 5 divisions in Lego at the moment now. Different areas and different groups. Okay. Lego Robotics is one division by itself, one product line by itself in Lego Education division. So you will see that Lego Robotics is one. You have the Lego Facilitation. You have the Lego Collector. Lego Serious Play don't have instructions. Lego Classic sets all have instructions. Those collector sets, like the Millennial Falcon, that's a collector group. You got the Adult Fans or Lego group. You have the MOC build, the Make Your Own Creation group. They are also customized constructions and Lego coaching. So this is a few general areas of Lego. So don't get mixed up. Okay, there are many subdivisions in the community. And I also happen to be a community leader of Adult Fans of Lego. So that's a group where people are sharing their collections. Some may keep over the years an original box and they can still sell. So as Lego facilitators, we still keep our original boxes. We don't throw away. We will still keep them, especially those sets that has high value. So different sets has different value, different impact, and it varies from person to person. Next question.
The question is from your best friend.
Yes, Jen.
Just to check, right? Because based on what you say about the duck, right? Like different people build the way the duck is, right?
Yeah.
It's based on your assumption, or it's based on observations, or it's based on like where do you get all this profiling identity?
It's based on many rounds of observation from my good friend Jen. So many rounds of observation and asking the right questions. That is one of the challenges as facilitator we face. How we ask the right question, asking sometimes the why question. Why did you build this way? Why? Can you tell me why you build this model? Why you build this way? So I will sometimes throw a why question or sometimes throw a what question. So it varies, but predominantly it should be a why question. Okay, so that is how we facilitate, and that's how interesting things get.
How do you use this Lego Serious Play to, let's say, solve a business problem, say lack of sales? How does it work actually? Maybe just an example.
For example, okay, lack of sales, that is your problem. So we need to generate your learning outcome to it. That is through a trial practice. That is usually done in the closed group before you even execute the entire Lego Serious Play process. So different process all begins with first finding your customer problem. So your customer problem is lack of sales. So you will, from the lack of sales, we determine the learning outcome, how to help them improve their sales. What was the problems affecting their sales? From there, we customize the building questions. So that's how, and we'll test the flow at least 2 times before it works. So one of my programs that took me 2 times to test was my retirement planning workshop that I did a couple of years back. That one took me at least 2 to 3 rounds of testing the flow from trainer level to closed group level to workshop level. So it cascades down the line in every workshop design. And every Lego Serious Play facilitation workshop is, as much as possible, 100% customized to a specific issue. So I will introduce one of my profiles that I especially address this issue. So like lack of sales. I have this specialized workshop that is done goal setting, that I go through a series of flow to make sure you can set your goals and you can apply to any industry. So that's one of my goal setting workshop. Thanks, JM, for the question. Anybody else got any interesting questions to ask?
Gerald, I have a question.
Yes. Yes,
Okay,
Princess.
You know what? This Lego is actually really interactive and also very interesting to play. But the problem, the price of Lego is quite expensive too. Yeah, it's just to make a duck is like, okay lah, maybe just need like about hundreds. But if you want to make a complicated one, it's also a big investment.
That is for the collectors. That is for the collector. Yes, it's a bloody big investment. I believe you have seen some of our friends and have built a collection of a stadium recently. A Millennium Falcon. That's very expensive. Okay, they are the collectors. Okay, Lego facilitation is not so expensive. Okay, with proper sourcing, the pricing should go down slightly a bit. I would say that is through years of test procurement, I would say, just to solve this procurement issue. But that's one of the fun part of it. Lego is genuinely expensive if you buy brand new. Okay, but recently sustainability things has came out recently, and that's what you get. Okay, so any other questions? You know, I'm going on to the next few slides to introduce a bit of my setup, how I do.
One question.
Yes, Anthony.
This Lego thing, including your workshops, and it comes from the West, right? Like what you said just now in the white paper.
Yes.
So I'm curious. You have introduced it to Singapore. You know, in Singapore we are kind of like the bridge between the East and West. So how about further around? You have already gone into Myanmar. Have you? What is the what is the rest of the world, like China, Indonesia? What do you see? What is the future for you?
China has a pool of facilitators there also, but I have not seen what's their specialized topics yet. Because every facilitator that you meet has their own specialty topics. Every individual facilitator who is trained in this method will apply their method to their work in many manners. So for my case, I will do it for team building, self-discovery, careers area. I will do maybe dating. So that's one of few, dating for singles. I tried to combine with astrology, but it didn't work. So I ran on another tool. I tried with Enneagram. Can work, but it's a bit challenging because of the flow processes between the two different worlds together. One is so from different worlds, you try to combine them. There's some time constraint. So for Lego Serious Play, the longest workshop you can go is 16 hours in the traditional standard format. That's 16 hours with full Lego sets being deployed. That means the original sets, 100% deployment. So that is what you get. But because of in Singapore, there is this common problem that I've noticed, that is people keep thinking too much. So instead of giving them so much bricks, I have to reduce the number of bricks. Impossible to give you too much bricks. That has been a perennial problem for pre-COVID days. I didn't encounter this in Myanmar, surprisingly. But in Singapore workshops, I do encounter this quite often. So in different cultures, you start to see the different thing in connection. And every workshop has its own conditions you need to fulfill. So like client asks for goal setting, we need to fulfill the goal setting element. If client asks for team building, we make sure that everybody all can talk to each other properly and know their stuff. They roughly know a bit of that stuff already. Okay, that stuff of interns or that. Okay, assuming there's interns joining you into the company. Okay, they also don't know the full-time staff, so they did this activity and it was good. So you get interesting results from there. Over time, you really look into it and you can see different styles. So that is the way and how it works. So that is a question. Yes, Mian. Yes.
I really am very curious to know what the background of the facilitator, for example, yourself, you train in NLP and so on. Do we really need to have a good fundamental in these areas of, let's say, aptitude, interpretation, and so on, before we can actually observe and interpret the various models that different groups of participants come up with? And what is the role of cultural differences in these areas that we need to be aware of? Because different countries, as you say, you go to different areas, like Myanmar, Singapore, and so on. Is it really something very important for us to take care of when we do Lego classes?
Lego classes overseas, usually I try to deliver a standard program. That means has been tried and tested in Singapore before it goes out for delivery. I already deliver a customized program out of Singapore. So the program must be fully tested here first before even it goes out of Singapore. And for me, because I've been servicing Myanmar for I think close to about 5 years already. In fact, yesterday is their visa day, and traditionally they will pay visit to the temples to give donations, but because of the coup d'etat, so things has gone out of sync. I don't want to describe beyond that. And today I'm getting interesting feed about them, okay? But culturally, different culture has different way of how they take the method and facilitation. For example, Myanmar has only 3 facilitators based there only. 3 only. There's only 3 facilitators there. But when we go to China, it's 36 or even 60 facilitators over there. Singapore, we are in a range of 100 to 150 facilitators. In the active region, we are about 80 to 100. Okay, and last year I happened to be one of the speakers at the global conference. We talked about how we raise community ground up initiative together. So some of you might have seen this MCCY initiative called the Emerging Stronger Together initiative. That was from my community, and that is how ground up initiative we built up together. And we did a SG75 project with NUS and quite a couple, 2 rounds. 2 years ago, we did for IDE staff as a community group. So we are convincing the lecturers, we were convincing the lecturer mentors and the higher management. So that was some of the few objectives of how Lego has come to so many play and so many community events has come out. It's all, and looking into the cross-cultural connection to it, every country has its own unique problem. So it takes years of understanding a certain culture, a certain way of working. So speaking for me, because I really work with overseas customers over the years, I mean, in my sales career, so I learned the hard way of speaking to different kind of markets. So you ask me to go to a Toastmaster Club in Bahrain, I can stay up late until 1 a.m., 2 a.m. I don't mind. I will fly there on Zoom Airlines to go there and listen. Then, for example, Denmark is having a presentation where our global meeting is always held in October. So that is where we learn the different cross-pollination of knowledge, different practices, different researchers. We have different research coming out of different areas. It can be mental health, it can be lots of different subjects. And even combining Lego with online tools together. That was one of the hotly discussed topic in our last global conference. So we are discussing about how to use playful principles for online meeting. That means we are taking these principles of Lego Serious Play, the key facts of it, transfer it to another tool or another application and make it the same fun element as an online virtual environment. So that was one of the hot debate lah. And this guy also did wrote a paper, also a journal paper. So you get interesting papers. There's more than 30. As Lego Serious Play is concerned, there is at least 25 years of journal papers to dig up. But when it comes to the scientific part of Lego Serious Play, the research goes as far back as 50 to 60 years. So consolidating them together will get interesting results and interesting environment, and see how kids play together, adults play together. And one of my goal setting workshop that I did for financial advisory, even a 60-year-old uncle have also can understand and even had fun with the Lego. He never expected. He was having so much fun with it. So that is the kind of interesting things you get with Lego Serious Play. It connects from the youngest to the oldest. The youngest delivered participant I did was at primary 5. It can go as young as primary 5. That is for these Lego classic bricks. Lego Duplo bricks can go down all the way up to primary 1 and primary 2. So in the midst of designing a 6 bricks program for a religious club. So it's kind of complicated, but 6 bricks, using 6 bricks and Duplo bricks to make a certain message come across, using the playful principles of Lego Silver Play, the key elements of it. But you can't never beat, because the Duplo bricks has restrictions compared in terms of parts that is available compared to the classic sets that you see in most of the basic facilitation kit that you see. As long as we advance the kit into a 4-hour kit, then you get to see some technique parts. It's a mix and match altogether. And sometimes you get to see the connectors. That's why you can see there are some connectors were being used. There's a connection set that's being deployed to show the correlations between the events and agents, they call it. Events and agent, that means the scenario, the testing. What will affect, what will correlate to the actual effect, to the event that is actually facing the issue. So there's lots of interesting things that you never expect Lego Silver Play can unlock. So for myself, when I'm doing a workshop design, I would be playing and I would be asking my question. Can you build a question of what you see the vision of Lego Silver Play? This is one example. I will just build it. I'll answer my question and I make sure I put into post-its, post-it notes, and of course I post it on Facebook. So sometimes or not, you might see I post on Facebook and LinkedIn because that is the models that remind me, why did I take part in this coffee chat session, this open space huddle? Because we are addressing different issues. In out of the open space huddles, there were many challenges that we face as facilitator. Some were asking about online facilitation. How can we bring the course? How can we use the principles of it? How can we harness a different method? How can we remote facilitate this entire session? So that has been a debate from last year. Earlier this year, we received an official direction from the association to deliver remote facilitation to a certain specific level. So the only specific level that I can deliver it to is your own models only. The moment we advance to the next level, we need to use online tools and make sure everybody can fit the information online. The technical skill set we need to catch up there. So there's a bit of technical gaps here in Singapore that we need to address before we even do it. So I'm reverting to another configuration which is known as Lego coaching. So I will do a face-to-face coaching at a co-working desk that I have. So that is one of the desks that I will use to do Lego coaching. Thanks for your question.
Thank you, Gerald.
Yes.
It looks like there's a lot of deep learning from the facilitator before you can actually start any of this.
Yes, correct. So the facilitator must know how to control the room, control the environment. You also need to control the logistics also. What is the pieces that you need to use? So when you are certified, they will give you a guide where you use which kit for which number of hours, or you customize the kit for that thing. So I have a friend in Focus Adventure who use Lego Silver Play and he customized it using other sets. But as long as they comply the same method, okay, they comply to the flow. So you can mix and match. The challenge is the elements do play a part, the colors of the set. So when you buy a set, you will notice as usually is a primary color, generally very primary color, very simple one. So that's what you get. So that's what you can earlier see in the first few slides you saw. It's very simple primary color base. They won't give you the new fanciful colors, okay? Like this turquoise blue. The turquoise blue is a very brand new color, okay? They just recently released only, okay? A few years back only. So every year Lego itself, in Pick a Brick, they release different colors. And different color can mean different thing to different persons. So the ladies who like to pick, sometimes some ladies or some kids or the female side will pick the flowers, the leaves, and talk of it as a garden. Sometimes you'll see an eye brick, okay? There's a minor, very small mini eye brick that you will see. And just like maybe in this minifigure in front. You can signify you can signify the other party, you can signify a lot of things. The meaning remains with you. So when we combine to a center model, we call it a shared model, it will affect you. It will affect a lot of people because your meaning can be changed. You need to ask. So we need to remember everybody's meaning in that table. Thankfully, because of COVID or social distancing, the group size will drop. Okay, instead of standard group of 12, you go down to standard group of 6. Okay, recent certification runs are now running at 6 packs. So we are following the same guidelines, 6 packs. That's why I scale it down even further to coaching. Coaching is more customized and it's more, the flow is more customized to everything that you do, I'm addressing you. So the flow gets even more interesting. So the more customized things are, it gets interesting, I would say. Okay.
Right.
Right.
Thank you so much.
Thanks, Mayan. Yeah,
Yeah.
glad you asked questions after so many years. Any more questions?
Any more questions from the floor?
Gerald.
Yes,
Hi,
yes,
I'm just
Atika.
very curious. Because you said you did about career and you did about dating, right? I'm just so very curious, what are your guiding questions to your dating programs? And what are they expected to build? Are they expected to build their dream ideal type, or is it like a session filled with guys and girls and they're trying to find a match within each other?
No, it's
Or is it visionary? I don't know. Just thinking.
my dating questions were more of ideal partner. Okay? Ideal partner, ideal situation.
Okay,
So there is in Lego Sales Play, there's varying type of building questions. Okay, you can what is the question? What is the leave a legacy? What's the obituary? Okay, oh, I tell you, that's very serious. You can go very serious there. The fun one is the dating. What's your ideal partner? What's your ideal partner? What's something special in yourself? For Enneagram, that one is what's the character? How you react to certain work and study situation or even leisurely situation. So that's why the Enneagram one didn't took off. But now because I have more knowledge into the 27 subtype of the Enneagram, my Enneagram workshop should be able to relaunch soon. Hopefully I can get something up and going, but I doubt so because the Enneagram itself has a panel discussion which takes at least 4 hours to complete. Then comes the Lego construction, which takes at least another 2 to 3 hours. So it's about 7 hours delivery. In Singapore, we are running short of time. We are always running late. We always, so cannot. So there's some restrictions. Even my own teacher is already now splitting his sessions into 3 hour block on Zoom already. So what more if I do Lego? So, or even I incorporate other even tools. It itself is having the same challenge really. So that is what I see from dating. Dating some of my building questions.
Thank you.
Yeah, I know some are curious about some of my all kind of funny topics I tested over the years. Yes, I really test different kind of topic. And usually the topic it won't work, I'll scrap the idea. So like my astrology one with astrology in relationships with Lego. Couldn't combine. Very difficult. Because Western astrology is about quite a few number of planets. And it's very hard to gel the whole story together. It's very hard. Because this is your natural self and you are born in that time. So the element and the personality character cannot gel together. But recently I did a test on astrology reports combining with Enneagram, quite successful. I did an experiment. So I did a recent experiment test in a phone call in a clubhouse call this afternoon. So with an old time friend. So our experimental reason, let's try. Okay, it works. And she can still remember that we did the Lego play together. And she asked me a very serious question. Hey, what's the type of thing that I'm doing? Do I like this kind of career, this kind of job? Then she asked me suddenly. Then I remember even though I don't have the photo now, I can still roughly remember the model that she built during her career because she wasn't indecisive in the career. So I asked her to build certain model for me. I can still remember that model. So I know her way of working. And she asked me to confirm her personality. I said, yeah, because I remember it, because I went deeper into the facilitation. So there are some vivid memory of a model. As facilitators, to answer Mian's question, we are also trained to remember the meaning of everybody's model within the table. That's also another big challenge out there. So sometimes instead of remembering the meaning of everybody's model, we use post-it notes to save time, we encourage people to write down their post-it notes or their points. It's easier because they own the meaning to the model, you see. That is the rule that we always need to adopt and conform to it. The moment we don't conform to it, you get this issue. You get lots of funny things that is out of flow, participants taking too long to build. That's a very common problem here. They take too long to build. Okay, in Singapore pre-COVID, I've seen participants took as long as 5 minutes just to build a simple model to a simple question. Build a model, for example, build a model. What's so special about yourself? Simple question only, 5 minutes. We take them every 5 minutes. By right, it's 3 minutes only. Okay, the reason why I give you short timing in Lego Serious Play, the purpose is for you to focus on your construction. Throw away all the distractions. So your handphones, you won't be touching your handphone during the activity. You will never touch your handphone. You will never touch a lot of things. Your body will lean forward. That's the two common things I see. And your hands will be busy playing or fidgeting. Okay. So those of me on LinkedIn, you have noticed I post 2 LinkedIn articles about kids fidgeting. I have yet to release my 3rd unpublished article on adult fidgeting. So it's in the works. I need to find the document and condense it down into a LinkedIn article. But this is some of the few research that I noticed as a result. So whenever I go to school enrichment lessons, for example, like microbit classes I teach, they got so many parts, right? I found the parts are all strewn all over the place. I say, never mind, let the kids fidget. I told the teachers, you have to let the kids fidget. The moment you stop the kids fidget, your class is going to be 100% disruptive. I'm very sure that's going to happen. It really did happen, okay? When teachers keep scolding them. So because the kids are out of flow already. So through this facilitation method, I am able to see how kids think also. So when we look into the art therapy form also, there's some similarities to Lego Serious Play. For example, or even drawing. Okay, there was a study skills workshop from a simple line. This student draw me a pig. I asked this question to this student, this primary 6 student. I asked, why you draw a pig? I mean, I said, yeah, why you like this pig? Yeah, I noticed. I asked this question. Does your family like eat pork rib soup or bak kut teh? Then the answer is yes. Because whatever that's lingered at the back of your mind will either come out in your models or in your drawings. That is the very definite clarity about it. Okay. So some of you might see me come out and appear as oranges, right? Yes, I like to drink orange juice. Okay. Orange juice is one of my favorite drinks. Okay. Watermelon fruit is my favorite foods. Okay, so this is the kind of thing, it's lingered at the back of my brain. You see? So it will come forward in your models, in your little fingers, in your fingertips. It's very interesting. Okay. Anything else? Any new questions? Are we still in time? JM, are we still in time?
Let's go on to your last segment. Yeah.
Okay, my last segment is my brief of my company profile. Okay, so it's about how to have fun in learning, to make learning fun through playful activity. That's how my setup. Because this is my learning framework. It's all about knowing yourself first. Then you have to build your model. As I keep building, that means, so to answer ethical question, my building activity for dating usually if you have a minimum facilitated workshop for 2 hours, should have at least 6 to 7 building questions. Okay, 7 building question minimum. So that is how it should work. So the more we build, you see a lot of things emerge, so many stories. Okay, so in the dating, the men and they sit, 2 pairs will sit in one table together, and you get to see an exchange story. Interesting, they will laugh all the way. Then as they emerge, you realize some can click, some can don't click. Then you have a lot of story. The reason why I say stories are important, because there are some occasions where the story don't link to the model, really disconnected. Encountered this in my Sec 2 class in Myanmar. Okay, Sec 2 kids, career guidance workshop. They don't know. So I had to do a back investigation. That means I need to back trace. So at the end of the session, they came and asked me, I said, maybe your mind has not decided, subconsciously have not decided what you actually want. That's why your building went all over the place, went scattered. So that was the result of that problem that I saw it. Kind of interesting. Okay, so that's why stories play a lot. Because the moment at the first activity, it's only ask you to build. But when we put in the story element, it should picture nicely, picture perfect. Okay, and this is my other membership. I'm NS-Mark certified. My company is. I also have a membership in another association, Associate of Training and Enrichment. So people who are in B2B, B2C, you can join this association. You need the contact, I can always refer you. Okay, so this is my few workshops that I always do: goal setting, my team building, and my sizing up customer. With 6 Lego bricks, I can size up customer. We're putting the story element together with it. And you get very picture perfect advisory to your customer already. And this is for financial advisory. Tested with a few financial advisors, they will stop. Okay, a typical insurance meeting can last an hour and a half with just pen and paper format. But when you put into a Lego play format, it goes in as fast as 45 minutes. I know what you need. In Singaporeans, we're always rushing for time, right? There you get it. Okay, I think I've done a year and a half of testing just to reach that level of it. Now the content is in full development. It should be out within the next few months. It should be coming out soon. I hope they get it out soon. I just now making sure my official accredited course will, for my career advisory, will come out soon. Okay, so you will start to see me have my consulting, my team coaching, and my team building. Team building is one of my favorites. Yes, so you have level 1 points of view. Okay, hello points of view. Okay, I can refer you to my trainer. Hello points of view. Help every quarter. Okay, every 2 months there's always a workshop. Every 1 to 2 months there's always level 1 workshop, always running. I can always point you to another trainer. I also run it in-house for you, no problem. I'm also a 6 bricks facilitator, level 1 and level 2. 6 bricks originated from South Africa. And yes, supported by Lego Foundation. And there's also many bricks, okay? Lego therapy has now since become bricks for autism because it's another process where it supports autistic kids. So that's another one on queue to be certified at the moment because the demand is so high. They are just revamping Lego Foundation and now chip in the money. So you get lots of interesting development out there in the current market. So as far as the current market is concerned, 6 bricks is starting to pick up. So in fact, next week, I am actually attending a 6 bricks facilitators global gathering. Yeah, so that's the kind of gathering. So I got lots of facilitators meeting. Almost every quarter or sometime every year I need to attend. Some is like community discussion. So there are certain key elements of these communities come together. So like this 6 bricks, I just want to take on. Okay, just go and try. Okay, I'm on queue for Playbox at the moment. So that's another few certs are on queue because demand of as a result of COVID, demand for learning and bite-sized learning has gone up the roof. So over 5 weeks, I learned these 6 bricks and it's very interesting. These 6 bricks, if you use in many sets, you can even hold out. You can even hold a fully filled water bottle as a bridge with 30 pieces of bricks, 30 to 35 pieces. So that's the beauty of 6 bricks. Some of the schools, okay, they're done. And you have seen some of the companies and I've done over the years, some non-profits I've done over the years, okay. And of course, some of my testimony for my clients, okay, some of my, not my clients, my participants. So there's more than meets the eye. And the connections between your thoughts and your hand, that's the key word that a lot of people didn't realize about Lego Serious Play, the full element of it. When we play the full element of Lego Serious Play, you see the full connection and it gets interesting over the years. And lastly, it is play that help us do things seriously better. That's on Wikipedia. And thanks you, folks. Hey.
Gerald, I got one question.
Yes.
Just now you mentioned this Lego therapy for autism. Can you elaborate a bit on that?
Lego therapy for autism is a new thing. It's actually Lego therapy by nature. It's another research area by itself. And it's also, interestingly, it is from another sector. So that sector focuses on about those kind of problematic kids, psychology. It's a very psychology-based approach. So since Lego Foundation achievement has since renamed it to Bricks for Autism. Yes.
So it's available in Singapore?
Yeah.
It's
not yet.
Not yet.
Not yet. It's based in the UK. The origin of this is from the UK. So different facilitators, different things, different applications comes in together. So 6 Bricks started in South Africa. Lego Therapy started in UK. I think outside of London. I can't remember which part. It's regional UK. It's a regional UK area, but it's definitely outside of London. In London, there's only 3 facilitators there, but in the whole of UK, there are many of them there. So different facilitators address different issues. So you got agile facilitator combining with Lego Serious Play. You got service excellence facilitator combining with Lego Serious Play. So quite a that's the kind of thing lah. Yeah.
Okay.
That's all. Yeah. Over to you.
Great. Thank you, Gerald. Let's give Gerald a warm round of applause, for that wonderful presentation. It was real mind-opening and expanding for myself, and I'm sure for our members and our guests. Usually in the third part of our program, we have what is known as the evaluation of the speaker. So, Jimin, would you like to kick this off and provide some feedback?
Sure, Anthony. Overall, I found the topic very interesting. This is the first time I'm listening to, of course I know about Lego, but Lego Serious Play, this is the first time I'm hearing that. So I think it is a very interesting topic to share with us, especially its applications also to the adults in this meeting. So I thought that is very useful, the way he shared very interesting examples and how flexible it can be, showing us many examples. So I thought that was very well done overall. Personally, I felt that is the case. Another area, maybe in terms of, actually, Gerald is very knowledgeable, lots of experience. I was thinking that, of course, he could have talked for more than 2 hours, actually, to be frank. So, but maybe he can be more focused, or rather more concise in some of the explanation. That's my feedback. So you can actually give more examples and on certain topics. Yeah.
Mei Yan, you got any feedback for Gerald?
I think I was saying that Gerald has given us a very inspiring and interesting look into the different approach using Lego bricks as the medium to actually bring training and facilitation to a much higher level, which is both tangible and intangible at the same time. Because a lot of times when we are training, we are just focusing on the mind and intellectual, but the visual aspect of it is something that is very important, as highlighted by Gerald. And through the visualization, the building of models, this has actually brought it to a level which can be better comprehended by both the facilitator and the participants. And I think I connect between the development of the facilitator and the participants in partnership. And that's a very important point. Here from Gerald, from his explanation, that the facilitator develops every time he conducts a session, and he adds on his value, and his value is then transferred to the next batch of participants in the same area of training. And I think that is a very important concept for all who aspire to be trainers. It's not just learning it one time. It is continuous learning. And I think that point is very important. And I think Gerald has put it across very well. Although, as Jimin said, it can be a bit more focused and simplified so that it's easier for most people listening to you to understand. Because you, as the trainer and having a deep, in-depth understanding of Lego Serious Play, knows everything. But most of us, like myself and Jimin, we are new. And seriously, when I read about Lego Serious Play on LinkedIn, I think, Gerald, you posted quite a few on LinkedIn. I was a bit confused. I couldn't really comprehend what was the real thing about. But through your session today, I come to understand it much better through the clarifications given. Because the fact is, how do you interpret through the models? What is the background of the facilitator and how do you bring this across to your participants? That is the key point I would like to understand and appreciate, and you actually clarify it very well. Thank you, Gerald.
Yes. Anyone else got any feedback for Gerald? Mary, any comment?
I think this is the first time I heard about Lego, and it's a very good insight. And I'm just thinking, how to use that method of writing a story. That's quite interesting. This is the first time I ever heard on Lego building. Thanks, Gerald, for the good insight. And I think I learned quite a fair bit for today's lessons. I'll look into frequently to your LinkedIn, okay?
Yeah.
Yeah, I posted something different today. So
I haven't read that yet.
Yeah, I'm just going to my LinkedIn.
I think the storytelling and being able to visualize it through the models you built is a very strong point that I learned from you today, because when we tell stories, without actually visualizing it, it becomes a bit abstract. But when you have the more plus the storyline, and I like your point of flow. Flow is crucial. And if a facilitator cannot maintain flow in the participants, then I think the training has failed. And we have put that point across very well. Thank you, Gerald.
KW, your comment.
Well, you know, it's something very, very new to me, but I think I got the gist of what this serious play is trying to do. Is you know, using some kind of like building model, but actually, you know, in the process, of course, you are trying to draw out the thoughts of the participants. All right, so there are many ways to skin the cat, but you know, for instance, you know, for like corporate direction, right? You do want to get everybody to sort of come up with ideas. You know, the facilitator is not going to give you the solution. You find the solution yourself, but the facilitator is helping you. So you know, this methodology of using Lego is very interesting. So I really am amazed of the one that is, but Rasmussen or something, right? Is the person who is behind it, because you know, as far as the founder of Lego is concerned, I think he never dreamt of Lego being used like that. You know, but that guy kind of you know, tap on this, and then, you know, turn it into a kind of a facilitation tool. That's how I see it. So, you know, my question for Gerald is that I guess you as a facilitator, you follow certain script. In other words, you know, the whoever developed this, you know, has got a certain script and methodology, and you know, you just follow it and sort of drive the communication and sort of draw out their wisdoms, and finally they have to make their conclusion, because you don't have the you are not the solution. They are the solution, but how to draw it out. Am I right in saying that?
Correct. I think KW is correct. It's correct. It's correct. We just need to wait for the answers to come out.
Yeah.
Usually.
Facilitation does that, right? We don't give them the answer. The answer is really
yeah. You know, it's not
them realize.
It's not the
buy
job of the
into their
facilitator.
own.
Absolutely. Anybody else got any feedback for Gerald? Or any comments?
One favor for Gerald is that I think it's time, with your experience, it's time for you to develop your own unique program. So that worldwide people know Gerald from Singapore developed a special program which is used worldwide. Maybe it's time for you to think about it, Gerald.
Yeah, I have a few unique programs, but the worldwide delivery not yet. Can explore further. Definitely can explore further at a deeper level. I'm trying to find a common one that can go all markets and all environments.
My question is, does the company encourage or invite the pool of facilitators to develop programs, or rather, because you probably can't expect the facilitators that are under your wing all are able to. This guy Rasmussen is a special breed, right?
It's a very special way of how he approached it.
Yeah.
So in ITE case, because we were having, I think, 12 tables. I was in the second session after Yangon. So that session was 12 tables, and there's a one VIP table, super high VIP. So we brought in a former principal of Wellington Primary, who is also a certified facilitator, to handle that table. So that was the kind of level that we need, and it's a community-wide driven event. So that was shared, and it's how the community come together and address key issues of a problem. So at that stage, right, this part, right, because ITE by nature is a kinesthetic institute. So Lego was a very perfect fit. In fact, the Lego facilitator in my batch got Teacher of the Year Award, President Teacher Award. You can find him online. He put in together a lot of effort to combine Minecraft, Lego Serious Play into his year 2 students. And because he saw the effect, he wanted to introduce to the whole institute-wide. So we organized the event. So we facilitators, as all the community effort, we chip in and we contribute the effort as a pool. So there's some community events that you don't see at the back end. In the front end, we have corporate trainers, you have in-house trainers, and you have researchers. That's how Lego Serious Play is so locked up. How I can even deliver a classroom delivery, because I was thankful enough to get hold of a paper from Canberra, Australian National University. This researcher wrote about how to use marketing and facilitate in a university classroom environment. So that paper has validated my delivery in the classroom. So without that paper, I wouldn't be able to deliver that. So you need research university professors to address different issues. Even like the 6 weeks professors, they're addressing the mental health and all that science health area. And they are also combining with the Duplo 6 weeks. So there's many facilitators in the research community. They are also cross-trained. Even in my 6 weeks training last year, I had 2 fellow facilitators, Lego Serious Play facilitator in my batch. In my 6 weeks level 1 and level 2, my level 6 weeks training. So we were cross-trained everywhere. So I'm due for my next course training in Bricks for Autism, which is a Lego therapy. Okay, that's a new term. Okay. So that is a new thing that I want to combine it with psychology first aid. So I need to make sure things fall into place. Because I also train another tool called Points of View. Points of View, I also came out another new tool for mental health called the Flow Card. I've unboxed it before, so you can look it in my Facebook. And I And I also have done it in many applications. We just tested this stack recently. So kind of interesting because different tools come with different methodology, and points of view is based on phototherapy. This one is based on play therapy. So it's different. And there's actually play therapy. So the research will cross each other in many ways in the whole education theory ecosystem. There's one big chart. But until now, I have not fully digested it because there are close to 40 to 50 theories. And it addresses different parts. In LEGO Serious Play, there's close to about 5 or 7 theories. And it varies from participants to participants and all that. On my company YouTube channel, will address some of the theories there. I think I have a 7-part series on about LEGO Serious Play there. So you can see that the whole, how it conceptualized together, how does the application it works, and many. Even till today, if I got time, if not for COVID, I'll be developing more LEGO applications. So I have points of view application in different topics also. Points of view coaching cards. That's the one that you see. Okay. So my next presentation will be very much different when I come back again, when I get to speak again, on a different tool that I'm using. And that is usually either my opening tool that I use in my LEGO session and my debriefing tool at the end of my session. Okay, so that tool is usually predominantly used to debrief the entire group. So as facilitator, we mix and match our tools. Because time constraint, so I use my secondary tool, which is my points of view cards. That points of view coaching cards has a faster reaction time. But the only problem is the photos and the meaning is even deeper than that. So it can go very deep at a certain level. LEGO, the illustrations will take very long to get the deepest end of the method. That is always the challenge that we always face. How deep can we go? And sometimes facilitators in past feedback form, they were asking for more parts. And sometimes it's the time constraint. I would love to give you more parts. I would love to give you, but sometimes it is the culture and the learning culture here in our school system brought us in such a way that we don't see things in that way. So it's causing that very huge disconnect that I realized. Okay, over the years, quite a few interesting things I've got. So I ran it for Enactors NTU. I had 2 feedback forms that said, can you give me more pieces? I only give them 50 plus pieces only. They want 100 plus. Actually can. For design thinking, I'll use about 100 plus pieces. I can't give you 54 pieces. Design thinking, you need at least 100 pieces. That was a dry run tested in Malaysia at the trainer's level. I have not cascaded down even further than that. So that is the kind of thing. And design thinking is also possible. So one of my facilitators specialized in system thinking. So as you slowly read the different papers, the different news articles, there are quite a lot of articles, but the theories all clash with each other. And the method has its own little theories that come together. And plus the researchers combining and referencing backwards has papers as much as 50 years ago. It can get very confusing, but unless you know the method and play with it, then you roughly know, oh, okay, I know where this part connects.
That is a very, very good. So it is very important as a trainer to be aware of what is out there and how each of those different methodologies can intersect and be applied within the training session.
Yes.
So like design thinking, systems thinking, and then you have a lot of facts as you go along. And during different parts of the time, different corporate cultures and so on, you need to understand the audience and how to customize the training and use the right tools to fit what they are looking for, because ultimately the facilitator is there to draw things out of the people who are participating. So what they are familiar with and how they would interpret would become a very good starting point for us. But I really like your approach of research, think through, collaborate, and I am not the only one. I need to work together with other people. That is a very key message I got from you.
Yes, and I have 2 of my other collaborative partners are here. Okay, Jennifer is my friend who specializes in points of view. Okay, she is here. Kelvin specializes in outdoor kayaking in event. So that is Jennifer, my good buddy. Okay, so
Thank you very much for sharing.
Yes, okay.
Appreciate.
Thank
Yes.
you.
Yep, okay. So these are my two buddies, okay.
Gerald, I
Maybe-
just wanted to ask you one question. Is that I think so far you didn't mention anything about this, but if I want to attend a half-day workshop, how much will you charge?
It varies a lot, and it depends on the big problem on hand.
It's okay, ballpark. We don't need to know so precisely. Just a range.
Ballpark.
Either it's actually between $1 million or 10 million, I suppose. But please let us know how many millions you charge.
It can go from 2K, maybe, for 4 hours. It can go quite high, or even 4K, depending on how complex the problem is and how many parts.
2K is for a group of people or one person?
It's all group package.
Oh,
One.
okay,
I have all
okay.
group packages, and it's different sizes and different groups.
I see,
So the
okay.
price variance really very quite high. It's very high. The variance is very high because it's different from different market.
So it comes with the
that-
parts, I suppose. It comes with the Lego parts, right? If you the price.
There will be an add-on also. So there is a bit of permutations that you get. So either you want to rent the parts, either you want to keep the parts for you to keep and use for future events. Okay, I got one client, you nearly spend 16,000 for 3 locations. Okay, full sets being delivered out. Nearly 16 to 17,000. That's for the kids to be fully deployed at his 3 school campuses. I'm supposed to fly into Thailand pre-COVID, but now because of COVID, I couldn't go up there. I'm still stuck here. So I decided not to pursue that lead. I decided to hold back. I go and explore other tools that can still be done online and still can to meet the astrological requirement. There's some astrological requirement. I need to try to go towards that direction. But remote facilitation is possible. As we have received, I think 2 or 3 months back, I received an official email how to run a fully guided remote facilitation. We need to follow that. In the association gave us guidelines that we need to follow. So like the building question, there is always a minimum every session. How come my workshop is always 2 hours? The first hour is the warm-up session. So it's either you're new to Legos, people who have not touched Lego for a long time, some who are low income, never touched Lego at all, no chance at all. So we need to bring them to the flow. Okay? So that's where you start to see the building and the story gel in the center. Then from the second hour onwards, we'll solve all your problems. So it's like your dating. So my dating question will start in the second hour. Minimally by second hour, I must start the first question of that hour. So in a standard 12 persons, you'll take at least an hour to an hour 15. For in Singapore context, in Myanmar, it was faster because their issues was very simple. They're simple-minded. They're developing country, so it's not so bad. But in Singapore, we think too much, you need more time. Okay, you really exceed your timing. Timing control is always a challenge in Singapore. We want fast, but we think too much. So one of the worst combination you never expect. Over my years of observation. Okay, but so far in one-to-one coaching, not so bad. Still okay. I still within the timing. I tested with one of my friend here to build a company branding profile. So of course, those who need help with branding slides, more than happy to help. Okay, it's my pay it forward for this year. Okay, tomorrow there's a pay it forward event with points of view cards. So you want, I will post up in the chat. Okay, it's another facilitator, not me. My session will be in another month. I go and talk about another issue using the tools. You can join me up there. Probably is on the 28th of September, if I'm not wrong, that's my date. Okay, it's every 28th of the month, and you will see there. Okay, I'll post in our chat group. Okay, so I'll circulate that thing, and you can get to see and experience that too. Okay, but I'll deliver different tools and different applications out in different markets. Everybody use that tool for personally their application to help them solve an issue. Okay, for example, I use that tool. I help Vasanti solve a problem. The points of view too. And of course, Jen, I believe Jen will say something. Go ahead, Jen.
Yeah, I want to say thank you for inviting. I got to go. I see you. I think one questions or one feedbacks. Later on, we will have another chat is what is your unique selling point that you might want to think about. So thank you, everybody. I will go first. And then what Gerald says, you're welcome to join our Paying It Forward with Points of View sessions on the 28th. You can check us out on our Facebook page as well. Well, Gerald will send the information. Ciao.
Yeah. Bye.
Okay. So that's my community out there. See, so I sit in 4 to 5 different communities that I'm in. So that's life. Facilitators, we have lots of meetings. Okay, business owner meeting, we have facilitator meetings. So it changes all the time. It's quite frequent now. So like this month, like June, I know I'm due to have a coffee chat session with global level. I didn't join the regional one because I believe I was training or I was having some classes, so I didn't book the session. But they address interesting questions out there. Yeah. Anthony, anything else?
Gerald, I'm just curious. Now, in this business model, first, this operation is owned by Lego, right? So, it's like another division of Lego, is that right? And
yes,
also
it's
then
within the education division, the blue color box division.
And so do they have a sales team to get business? And then, the facilitator just sort of...
we source our own. It's
facilitators...
disconnected from the Lego group. The Lego group owns the parts. The facilitator forms an association really. It's open source method.
Facilitators have to find your customers. So you have to go and you basically have to make cold calls, go.
Yeah, correct. So the Lego owns the parts. They have the copyright, they own the mold, the injection mold, all that. But the association owns the method, the facilitation method. So in Singapore, I am the community member that settles 2 kits for the community at urgent basis. That means if they need sets urgently, I'm the guy to get. I'm on standby. Because locally to bring in the stock is very challenging. There's a lot of logistics and custom issue. Now, latest news because of online order, there's a 7% GST. So it's going to make the price out of sync sooner or later. So
for instance, in Myanmar, you need to work through agents or people who...
Yes, I will get through friends and people to push it.
To find you the potential client, and then for you to present. And what is the kind of hit rate? If you present to 10 clients, how many ended up engaging your service? Or
so far, I was supposed to have 1 hotel training, but because of COVID, so I got a bit of issue, so I couldn't fly in. They were actually very keen because I know the Burmese culture, and so I just followed the flow of the Burmese. So he was very keen really. He actually knows the method. Somebody introduced him. I just came at the right time to close it. So it varies from different persons to person. Like the school, because it's another friend of mine who happened to drink whiskey with me. So refer me to things. So that's how I get certain kind of business. Certain kind of business. It's all through word of mouth. Nowadays, I rarely facilitate this because of COVID, but I will still do my one-to-one coaching with this method now. As a result, because now the social gathering is 2 persons in a house, 2 unique visitors, that's why coaching has been now the new trend. It's confirmed a new trend, has been validated by a few sources. And in the midst of it, I'm also trying to combine few elements together. So I combine my points of view elements, cards, okay? And usually the points of view cards will tally with the Lego bricks together. Usually, we have done for one trainers group in 2018 before. We have done.
Most of the clients would be bigger organizations, right? The SMEs probably are not your target.
It varies. Mine is kids, can be any age group. I will do more to financial advisory. it's easier for me because I know how to structure the flow for them. That's one of my signature
Financial
sessions.
advisors, what, like AIA?
That kind, yes. They are so amazed. Instead of you drawing and writing the thing, which most agents do, okay, takes about an hour and a half just to explain to a client. And you are writing it. Compared to the person who is building that model, you take photo of the model, you record notes of his points, because you have to still do your scribing. You get your exact information in half the time. That's from my 1 year of trial testing.
You mean, you know, if the financial advisor were to get the potential client to play this, and you know, you can find out more about his needs sooner than you know, you said from within a few minutes rather than for an hour. Is that what you're saying? You know, the financial advisor using your Lego methodology, or what?
You will use their methodology. You will follow the flow because the flow is open source already. There's certain part that is not proprietary. We need to maintain the proprietary area only. So we need to balance both sides.
So they come to your workshop to learn from you this method, and then they can use it to build their business, right?
Yeah,
they
can use it to build their business. You know, I talk to the customer. That's why this is my new program that I'm going to launch. Once COVID restriction ease, we should see this one. I will be trying to get this one running. Of course, I will do there will be a Udemy version also available for people who need it.
Jimin,
Yeah.
closing address.
Sure. Thank you very much, Gerald, for your wonderful sharing session. I think we all agree that we have learned a lot, and that's the purpose of this association, to let members showcase their expertise, their skills, their knowledge, and hopefully there are people who want to sign up with you for your programs or your workshops. Please contact Gerald directly. So at ASPS, members who, those of you guests who are interested to join us, drop us a note. You know, we'll be happy to take it on from there. We welcome members, people from all walks of life, whether you are really doing your, whether you are a professional speaker or not, or trainer, facilitator, doesn't matter. As long as you have an interest to learn more, to share more. You know, we have we want to be a club whereby you learn something, then to really deepen your knowledge, you start practicing it, and later on you teach people. So we hope that this is something we can create, this virtual cycle for everyone, for members. So I'm excited that Gerald is so well connected with so many groups. In time to come, I'm sure he will introduce some of his members to our association. And in fact, if there's we can also invite Gerald and his team. I mean, you can set up another Lego group chat in our association. We'll be happy to. It's like another interest group. Yeah, if you have the time. So all in, I would like to express my thanks to Anthony for being a great MC. For Ching also, he has been as a program director. Yes, we're organizing all these things at the back end, and I think it's wonderful the session tonight. So I will, now it's almost about 10 minutes to 10. So I think we run over a bit over time, but never mind because we enjoyed everything. So I hope to see you at the next meeting. We have not firmed up the date yet, but every month we have one, depending on the speaker's time as well. So okay, over to you, Anthony.
Okay, thank you, Jimin. So with that, I guess we will close our session. And for us, ASPS, we will be planning for the next meeting very soon, right? So,
Good night,
boss, KW, anything else?
No.
No.